Hello everybody, my name is MilkyPoo42, and welcome to today's project. That was my Marcus Plier impression. Today's project is a cosplay of a certain British furry, Mr. William Afton, aka Purple Guy, aka the man behind the slaughter, aka Vincent, aka Dave Miller, aka Steve Raglan, aka Springtrap, aka Spring Bonnie, aka the Yellow Rabbit, aka Scrap Trap, aka Peanut, aka I always come back, aka Glitch Trap, aka Burnt Trap, aka Peepaw Willie, aka The Mimic. This project was supposed to be for going to see the FNAF 2 movie in theaters with my friend, but that never happened, and also I finished it in March. Just a little late. We wanted to go in cosplay, as you do, and she already called dibs on the puppet, which is objectively the best and easiest choice, so I had to go with the second easiest, a whole suit. I didn't want to just wear a suit and some purple and call it a day. I needed it to be more recognizable, more accurate, more purple. I needed to recreate the specific sprite in all its glorious lack of any detail, but still have it be a suit. Here's the concept art. I'll talk about the specifics later. For now, let's make the pattern for the vest and the pants. I did the vest with the usual newspaper method. Like always, there was a lot of fitting and cutting and fitting and cutting and fitting and cutting and taping and cutting and fitting. Just a bunch of small changes that I'm gonna skip over. I cut apart the paper and trace it on IKEA Ramshood instructions. I also drafted pant blocks. That's the front, that's the back. I really want to learn how to make pants that are good. My last attempt was, well, I could wear them. This time I watched an actual tutorial on how to draft pants. Crazy, I know. It's this series by Dress Pattern Making. It was a very good tutorial, though I still had to do so many changes, especially to the back. The block still isn't perfect. I really should keep refining it, and I should make a bodice block too. Once it was good enough, I traced the block on a new piece of paper and added the flared shape I wanted them to have. Obviously, this wasn't enough volume, so I added more to the sides, and drew on where I wanted the waistband and the pockets. I did watch a tutorial on how to draft the pattern, but I didn't watch anything about actually sewing pants. Especially not about inserting pockets. I can only follow so many tutorials, alright? One is enough. With the first full mock-up done, it's time for the second. Well, it's not really a mock-up. I did want it to be an outfit I will actually wear, and it is. I've worn it multiple times. For this outfit, I chose a striped brown fabric that I really like, and some random green fabric I had for the lining. Usually I fit pattern pieces on the fabric that leaves the least amount of scraps, even if the grain line or whatever is wrong. Obviously I couldn't do that with striped fabric. I mean, I could, just wouldn't have the look that I wanted. I put in some extra effort and tried to get the stripes to line up between the pieces, and in the end it turned out close enough. For the pants, I also tried to line up the stripes, and have one go straight down the middle. Then, to sew the vest together, I first connect the back pieces, then the front and side panels, then sew the back seam, then the side seams, then did the pleat in the back. Should probably do this before the side seams. And last, the shoulder seams. I top stitched to keep the seam allowances flat and used a white contrasting thread to match the white stripes from the brown fabric. On the outer fabric, I used a green thread to match the green accents. I then sewed together the outer and the inner fabric at the top and bottom, clipped the curves, and pressed the edges. And last I put in the zipper. The zipper I had was too long, even though I ordered it specifically to be the right length, so I had to fold it at the top. But that was weird and didn't look great, so I cut off the top. Don't do that. Now I had the issue that the zipper head thing could just, come off. So I cut off the top stopper part and sewed it to the end, and it's just messy and weird, but at this point I had no other choice, so I went with it. It's fine. Now for the pants, I did the pockets first. This is the back piece of a pocket. I wanted the inside of the pockets to be green, but I didn't want it to show on the outside, which is why I'm sewing this brown piece on. I then sew the front pant panel to a pocket piece, right sides together. Flip to the inside and top stitch it in place. And sew the pocket pieces together. I don't have a serger, though I do have access to one. I should have used it for this outfit, but I just did zigzag stitches to finish all the edges. I pressed the seam allowances of the back pockets down, top stitched the opening, and sewed them on. The main pieces are ready, and now I have to make the waistband. With all the pieces done, I can sew the pants together. I also made myself some fingerless gloves, and it's done. These real shots are after I've worn and washed it a few times. I think it looks nice. I got the silhouette I wanted, and I'm a sucker for this fabric, but there are some issues, mostly fit issues. Those fit issues being that it's just too tight. It's comfy, don't get me wrong, I have a full range of motion, but the pockets are very hard to use, and the pants are kind of hard to pull over my hips. The zipper isn't long enough. I also just don't like the pleat on the back of the vest. This fabric gets super wrinkly after it's washed, so I have to iron it every time I want to wear it. That's another reason I don't wear it as much as I could. And the zipper on the vest is just too heavy. It bends in ways I don't like, especially when I'm sitting. But otherwise, I think this was a great first attempt at making a thing I can wear in real life. Now let's make exactly this again while fixing none of the issues, but for something I'm less likely to wear in real life. Alright, so here's the outfit breakdown. Obviously, I need to make the vest and pants. I also want to make a dress shirt. I'll also be making a security guard hat, because the sprite is him acting as one. At least that's what I think. We're not going to get into the FNAF lore. I want to make a hat. And I'm also going to make cardboard props. The badge, his face, and the hand wrench phone thing? I always thought it was his fucked up hand. Ignore the tie, I'm not making one again. And I was also going to make gloves, but the project was taking too long, so I didn't. I'll be making everything out of the exact same purple fabric for maximum flatness. I want all the pieces to merge together. Where does one purple end and the other begin? I thought about using contrasting yellow top stitching like I did with the green, but it didn't feel right. It just wasn't purple enough. Anyway, here I'm sewing the pants together. I decided not to put pockets in. I didn't want to, and this wasn't a practical garment. Instead of finishing the edges with a zigzag, I did whatever this is. Like a French seam, but wrong. Tried them on without the waistband. Looks pretty good. And then sew together the waistband. Darts first, then all the pieces together. And then the lining, before I realized I still wanted to add belt loops, even though these pants don't ever need to be held up. So I had to take it apart, and then my machine decided to have tension issues, so I went over it again. And then I realized, hey, the darts don't line up. So I did everything again, but right this time, and with interfacing. And now I can sew the waistband to the main part. There was some weird fish issue. There was some weird fit issue in the back that I kinda fixed. Added the zipper, hemmed the bottoms, and the pants are done. With the weird back, they somehow ended up worse than the first ones, but that would be covered, so I don't care that much. The whole vest gets interfacing this time, because I didn't like how floppy and unstructured the last one was. Though I don't think it will be as much as a problem this time, because I'm using a plastic zipper on this one. Every piece was lengthened by 2 centimeters to make sure the zipper fit. I ordered the zippers at the same time with the same length, so it was also going to be too long. To help with the annoyance of having to iron the back pleat, I just sewed it down. I thought about making the lining yellow, a little reversible vest action. Hidden golden Bonnie cosplay. That's a fun idea, actually. I didn't do that. I needed everything to be purple. And after sewing in the zipper and top stitching all the edges, the vest is done. I patterned the vest to be tight on purpose so it binds without me having to wear a binder, because they hurt me so bad. But turns out, anything that restricts my ribcage is bad. So this does hurt my back after wearing it. But it looks pretty clean. Last major piece is the dress shirt. It's a free pattern from the V&A Museum. I'll link it in the description. It's pretty customizable. I went with the most basic version. Though, I don't know, maybe I should have added a jabot. Jabbit! I'm literally just following the instructions, and I don't want to script anymore because I'm very over this project, so enjoy some music for a bit. Who knew following a pattern would make a very nice and clean result? I think I'll be using this pattern again. I need more dress shirts. Though I will have to make the collar and hip area wider, they're just a little tight. I had no plan when making the hat. I just kind of cut paper, which resulted in this, which is not how I wanted it to look. So I decided to actually look at reference pictures and come up with a rough pattern, and that looks a lot better. I made the band part out of a pizza box and glue fabric over it. A glue stick is actually pretty good for gluing fabric to cardboard. It doesn't show through, and I didn't need it to be a very strong bond anyway. And I cover the back with more fabric, this time with fabric glue, since it's fabric on fabric. I do the same to the brim and sew it to the band. I close the back with fabric glue on the edges and also sew it, but I didn't film that. And then I add the cone-shaped part. I should have sewed that part to the top circle before attaching to the band, but I didn't think of that. So I had to add the top in a weird way and then cover up that with another circle to hide it. That left an uneven edge I didn't like, and I didn't like the gap where the brim meets the band, so I covered both of them up. First I tried wool, but that defeats the whole making everything out of the same color and texture thing, so I went with more fabric. I don't know how much that helped the top edge, but I can't remove it now. I really like this hat. It's almost comically small, and I think that's funny. Now for some arts and crafts. I mostly eyeballed the proportions of everything, but I think I got it pretty close. I cut everything out of cardboard and base coated it in white. Then added approximately 10 million layers of the only purple paint I have that for some reason has the worst coverage known to man. I finished the mask by stabbing eye holes and adding an elastic. And now I can finally become the purple guy of my dreams. I sent the finished fit to the friends, and I got the feedback that I look very purple, so I think I achieved my goal. I don't know what I'll wear this to now that I can't see the FNAF movie in theaters, but I think it looks great. It's as monotone and textureless as I wanted it to be. And I think the mask makes the whole thing recognizable as that exact sprite. I mean, look at me. I'm literally purple guy. Call me William Afton the way I've killed 7 to 12 children depending on interpretation. Here's what I think. Anything after UCN is a fever dream except for Peepaw Willie because he's the one having the fever dream, and also the mimic is real and has always been there because I think that's funny. FNAF World is the best game both visually and story-wise. God Victim real. That was actually the bite of 87 because Markiplier is actually the crying child, therefore making him the God Victim. Therefore making this sentence true, making the actual bite of 87 now the bite of 83, switching the victims, which is how Marcus Afton survived to become Marcus Plier. And always bet on rules card night. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.